Let's go. It's Cowboys After Dark time. Let's do it. Whether we have 10 or 10,000, we gonna talk Cowboys tonight. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this video, please don't forget at the end to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And yes, we are live. And so, if you haven't become a channel member subscriber yet, please do. We have a lot of great things coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. Man, let me tell you. This Cowboys game was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And so tonight, before we get to talking about the takeaways, the Cowboys, there are about 4 interviews I want to check out. Brian Schottenheimer, his first interview after a loss, which it was the preseason, but nevertheless, I still want to hear what he has to say. Malik Davis and Will Greer came in with a different type of energy. Got a short interview from Malik Davis. We're also going to listen to Joe Milton. Boy, it's amazing to me. People are straight up clouding Joe Milton. I'm not really clouding Joe Milton because I just kind of knew what he was. I knew what he was, but I think people needed to see. And I think there are people out there, they're doing the same thing they did with Trey Lance. Now they're out here saying, you know, he'll be all right and blah, blah, blah. Joe Milton needs a lot of work. Joe Milton needs a lot of work. So, first thing we're going to do, let's deal with on our topics tonight. How about we change these on the fly real quick? So tonight, again, you kind of give us a little bit of a format so we can kind of know where we are. We're going to deal with this shoddy presser. We'll do some player interviews. And in particular, Joe Milton interview. I definitely want to hear what Joe Milton has to say about his performance. Let's look at Malik Davis. Yeah, we'll look at Malik Davis. Man, Malik had a when you look at the stats on Malik Davis, oh my gosh, they were ridiculous, man. This dude, Malik Davis, came in like he never left. All right, so this is what we're gonna talk about tonight. We're gonna deal with the shoddy presser, Joe Milton interview, Malik Davis, and then we'll go around a couple of, how about we go I don't know, and then we'll look at the latest news from around the internet about the Cowboys. How about we do that? How about we do it like that? Because I am telling you, boy, people got a lot to say about this Cowboys thing. All right, so let's get this. Let's get us a quick. These are going to be our 4. These are going to be our 5 topics for tonight. Shoddy Presser, Joe Milton interview, Malik Davis, Phil Maffa, and then we'll kind of go around the internet and check out whatever else is going on. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. Let's get a quick roll call, see who's up at this late at night. Yeah, it's Cowboys After Dark. Cowboys execution 36-42. He says our depth isn't looking too good, especially at the cornerback position. Yeah. Well. User, he's back. What's going on? Well. He said, Ray, let's go. Dominique Pittman, yeah, let's go. Cowboys After Dark. You know how we do it. Brandy, OMG, G, you know how I do it. Let's do this. Miss Matrix, hey, G, you know I was waiting for the After Dark. Hey, had to do it tonight. Jeffrey Mayfield, yes, sir. Let's get this thing. Yep, Dominique Pittman said he don't care how late it is. He doing cow. He said, hit that PC, hit that button, jive turkeys. I love it. All right, let me read something user said. He said we need that slap in the face. Back to the drawing boards. Yeah, to try again. That's all we can do. Remember, everything is new this year, including the coaches. Yeah, I said that when we first started. That's why I said everybody kind of pump the brakes. My man Alfredo Morales. Hello, El Chuco in the house. Let's do it. Miss Mantry, she said, hit that like button for the content. Let's go. Kimberly Keck up in here. How's it going? Hey, it's going good. Let's go. Nathan, too tough. His first preseason game will be okay, but we need to clean up some stuff. Okay, we're gonna discuss that. Gregory, nice to see you tonight. You too. Let's go. LaQueen, my sister from the beginning. What's going on? We know we about to get busy tonight. All right, Andre Kirkendorf, what's going on? Our defense. Short man in the crib. Let's go. All right, let's get this thing started. Robert Paulson in the crib. What's going on, man? I need to get me some coffee. Matter of fact, TME Greatness up in the crib. What's good? Good to see you late tonight. Dallas Mob 8844 Cowboy Nations for life. Wait a minute now. Is this Jared? Is this you? You done changed your name to JCTS Slice. Let me know, because that looks like you. Gee, we should be eye open, but not worried. There's still, he said there's still time. We still have Dak. We should be fine as long as we have Dak. Yeah, don't doubt about it. Deion Jefferson back in the crib. Joe Milton gave himself a grade of a D. D minus, not couldn't agree more. I hope he get better the next 2 games. Yeah, he needs some work. We're gonna talk about it tonight. What's going on, Quentin Water? Good to see you tonight. All right. Let's get this thing kicked off, man. Brian Schottenheimer up in here. He's this is his first press conference after, it's a preseason game, but nevertheless, it's his first press conference after a preseason game. Well, after a game as the head coach, but also after a loss. So I'm very interested to hear what he has to say.
So we have to be better.
All right, let's get this thing going.
Brian talks with ESPN.
What happened to him there?
All right, let's get this thing going. Brian, I already know, man. Ain't no point in sugarcoating, Brian. All right, Jared. Okay, I got your JCT Slice. All right, let's get this thing going. This is the Brian Schottenheimer. I'm going guerrilla style tonight. All right, let's highlight that. Let's go guerrilla style. This is the Brian Schottenheimer press conference. We'll kind of listen to comments. We'll come in between and comment, and then we'll keep going. That's how we do it. All right, without further ado, let's roll it.
It looked like Joe left the game late. What happened to him there?
Yeah, he got hit on the elbow. I think that seems like initial tests are that he'll be okay. A little bit of a bruise. We'll get some more tests, but preseason football, it's like, hey, Will gets in there, and hats off to Will. I mean, did a hell of a job, and but I think Joe's gonna be okay.
Overall, that start, how difficult was it? Just Joe struggled at the start and defense. How difficult was it?
Yeah, it's definitely not a storybook beginning. That's for sure. We just struggled, and I think it was 25 plays to 6 or something at one point, and that's obviously not a great way to start. They converted some 4th downs, and they controlled the ball. We had the 3 and outs. I think Joe was throwing some fastballs out there early, and I'm proud of our guys the way they settled down, but certainly not the right way to start the game. And that's what you do in preseason, man. You learn from it. And I told the guys, hey, we competed hard. But we gotta clean some stuff up. We can't have the penalties, 11 penalties or whatever that was. And at the end of the day, it's like we put ourselves in a chance in the second half to maybe make a run, and we just couldn't gain the momentum. When we scored, we kind of gave up a touchdown, and we got to play better complementary football.
Clarence Hill of DLLS Cowboys. Just talk.
Okay, now this is where I'm already concerned. This was, we all understand, these were the backups. But let us also consider this. So the one thing that I was concerned about, just kind of listening to Brian Schottenheimer, and I understand he doesn't want to go all doom and gloom on his team. But I also have an issue with, and let me make sure I make some notes as I go. I also have some issues with play selection. I have some issues with play selection by Brian Schottenheimer. I don't understand why you have Joe Milton and you open up the game, the first 2 drives of the game, and you go pass happy. How do you go pass happy in the first 2 drives? The first 2 drives, what was it? 6 straight pass plays, or maybe 5 straight and 1 run by Joe Milton. But let me tell you something. I've seen this movie before. And this movie that we are watching with Brian Schottenheimer, and we're going to talk some truth tonight. My man C-Base up in the crib, what's going on with you? We're going to talk some truth tonight. I believe that Brian Schottenheimer thinks more of Joe Milton than what Joe Milton actually is. Brian Schottenheimer is very high on Joe Milton. Hold on, let me get this super chat in. My man Dominic, appreciate that too. Appreciate that $1.99 super chat. Well, I can tell you this, Dominic, it don't matter if it's too much. He ain't convincing Jerry he ain't calling plays. That's why Jerry hired him. Jerry said, and I quote, "We would not have hired Brian Schottenheimer if he wasn't," he said, he wouldn't even be the coach if I wasn't going to have him to call plays. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said. Brian Schottenheimer needs to call plays. And so I got a problem with Brian Schottenheimer's play selection. And we can call, he said he wanted to come out and he wanted to be very vanilla. You can tell me you're trying to be vanilla all you want to, but let's talk facts tonight. You don't come out aggressively with 6 straight pass plays unless you think your quarterback is him. You ain't doing that unless you think your quarterback is him. And I believe that Brian Schottenheimer, he's doing the same thing I heard Mike McCarthy do and I heard Jerry Jones do that week after Dak Prescott went down in the Atlanta Falcon game. Jerry Jones on the radio, and they're asking Jerry Jones, what do you lose? What do you miss with Cooper Rush coming in? We don't lose nothing. We get the full repertoire. How'd that work out? Brian was really calling those plays. For this to be a very vanilla game, he was really calling those doggone plays pretty, to me, that's aggressive. Joe Milton? The first 2 drives? I mean, you just come out telling the Rams that we got Joe Milton. We're going to throw this thing on y'all all day long. That was dumb to me. The way you settle down, even a veteran quarterback, even veteran quarterbacks need to be settled down sometimes. Sometimes with a veteran quarterback, you know what you need to do? Same thing they're going to have to do with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott hasn't played since week 9 of the Atlanta Falcons game. You know what the Cowboys are going to have to do? They're going to have to give Dak Prescott easy throws. Quick options. Quick reads. Get him some completions under his belt. Run the ball. They're going to have to do that stuff to kind of get Dak Prescott back into the group. He's a 10-year veteran, but let me tell you something. Everybody needs reps. And while Dak don't need the reps that Milton needs, Dak still needs reps. He's going to have to get back into the feel of the game. I think by second quarter, he'll be back good. He'll be good to go with the Philadelphia Eagles, but he got to get it back going. And so the way you settle down a quarterback, the way you settle down an offensive line, run the ball. Run the ball. Get the quarterback easy completions. And that is not what they were doing with Joe Milton. Not to mention the wide receivers. Some of those wide receivers could not get separation. But see, let me tell you where Dak Prescott has spoiled this team. Dak Prescott led the league last year before he went out in tight window throws. See, Dak can fit those. He can fit those passes in. Dak throws some passes in some very, very tight windows. Yeah, Quentin, he said, I was thinking the same thing. Mike McCarthy all over. He sounded kind of like Mike McCarthy, didn't he? That's what I was saying. He sounded kind of like Mike McCarthy. We've heard this before. It was the second team. But again, it's not the score that's concerning me. Just like I've been saying to people, it's not the score that concerned me. It was the lack of energy. It was the lack of energy. This team was not energized. It was the lack of energy. It was the lack of intensity. It was the lack of physicality. It was the fact that the Rams pushed us around in the scrimmage. Our first team too. They pushed some of our first team around in that scrimmage. The only place the Cowboys could really get the Rams is, no surprise, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Kevontae Turpin. That's no surprise. We're going to be able to do that to a lot of teams. But when it came time for the Rams to get the ball, they was zipping all through us. They were zipping all through us. We got a problem in the trenches. We have a problem in the trenches. We have a problem even when you think about our defensive line as a whole. Because anytime you're going to get Donovan Ezeraku and Micah Parsons out there, I don't know if you saw Donovan Ezeraku tonight. Donovan Ezeraku got introduced to the NFL. Hey, man, these dudes, college, man, let me tell you, college, I'm not knocking college. But let me tell you something about college. You playing dudes who ain't going to never play football again. Man, you might be playing some guy who gonna go be an astrophysicist, one guy gonna go be a lawyer. This is not their life. They're just playing. But, bro, when you come to the pros, these are the pros. These are the pros. These dudes trying to make it too. And so I want you to imagine scenarios of Donovan Ezeraku and Micah Parsons, Oso Digizua, Mozzie Smith on the field. Let's say it's 3rd and 8. The Cowboys think it's going to be a pass rush. They got their best pass rushers out there. And the team says, man, y'all have no one tech. And with those undersized edge rushers, we're about to run right through you on 3rd and 8. The Rams pretty much had their way on the Cowboys tonight running the ball. But the reason why I say this is not just tonight, they did it in the scrimmage. And so again, when I think about the Cowboys, lack of energy. Where was the energy? I'm just telling you what I expected tonight. I expected Damarion Overshown level energy. That's what I expected. I expected guys out there waving their hands, pumping each other up. Let's go. We about to, whatever the case may be. I mean, man, you're getting an opportunity. You get an opportunity to make the Dallas Cowboys. I didn't see that energy. I have not seen this energy we've been talking about. I haven't seen it since the Rams came in on the scrimmage and thumped us. The Rams with their entire second team. We are saying it's preseason. It is. But it was preseason for the Rams. We were missing 20 starters. Well, how many starters do you think the Rams were missing? Do we think the Rams snuck in 2 or 3 starters or whatever? No, they put hands on us. And where the biggest concern is again, Brian Schottenheimer, I'm going to give him a break on this. He said he's going to be vanilla. Okay, we're going to take you at your word. You were vanilla. But I'm still concerned. I'm still concerned about the lack of energy, the lack of intensity, the lack of discipline with all of the doggone penalties. I'm concerned about, you said it was vanilla, but the way you came out aggressive, man, passing the ball really got me concerned. really, really got me concerned. And so again, he seems to be higher on Joe Milton than what Joe Milton's talent level is. I hope this brought Brian Schottenheimer back down to earth, similar to how Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones had to be brought back down to earth, talking about Cooper Rush can do everything Dak can do. No, he can't. There's not many quarterbacks in this league that can. Contrary to what people think. Everybody can't do what Dak does. Dak's a 10-year veteran. He's been working at this craft hard. But nevertheless, this stuff was shoddy. I mean, I hear you. You're admitting some things, but, and I understand you don't want to just get your team alarmed. But this sounded a lot like some of this stuff I heard last year from Mike McCarthy. And I'm telling you guys, Cowboys got thumped. We can't let this one go. Now, the scrimmage, I was like, it's a scrimmage. Man, it's the first preseason game. You just scrimmaged the same team that brought this. They brought a different level of physicality to the Cowboys even on that scrimmage. So for me, I actually said this past week, I said, Cowboys going to come with different energy. They're going to match it. They didn't match it, Brian. They didn't match it. Let me read some of your comments, then we're going to go back to Brian. I'm sorry. All right, C-Bay said, what was the deal with Booker not playing? Some foolery going on. They consider Booker to be a starter. I think that's what they're telling you. So they didn't want to play none of the first team. I don't think they want to play any of the first team offense. So we're going to see, unless we get an opportunity to see the Cowboys starting lineup, unless we get the opportunity to see them against, unless we get the opportunity to see them against the Baltimore Ravens in the next game, we're not going to see them until they play Philadelphia. And for me, I think whenever you start, whenever that's your first game playing a certain team, it's your first time your team is all playing together and you go up against a team like the Eagles. The danger in that is you could possibly get so far behind early on that you're not able to do anything. That's where I'm concerned with the Philadelphia Eagle game. But again, we got about 3 weeks to get ready for this. But, I want us to think about this. Our offense actually isn't going to be getting ready. It actually isn't going to be getting ready except on the practice field, because they're not going to put the starting offense in a game unless they do it. Next week is the last opportunity. Guys, let me tell you something. It's August the 10th. Do we realize now we play the Philadelphia Eagles on September the 4th? We got a lot of ready to get. We got a lot of things to get ready before that game, because we're losing days because we're playing Thursday, where other teams are going to get a few extra days to prepare. We're not going to get that time. And so right off the rip, man, we're facing Saquon Barkley. Whew. We're facing Saquon Barkley. Deion Jefferson, appreciate that super chat. Boy, Deion Jefferson. Yep. That's exactly what I'm saying. Deion says, Coach been talking about playing with toughness. Now, the funny thing is, Deion, we kind of saw it against each other. We saw some of it. But against the Rams, absent. Even with them playing against our starters in that scrimmage, absent. It carried over, which is where I was actually surprised, Deion. The Rams were just way more physical than us. They were way more physical than us, man. Yeah, we haven't seen it yet. It's easy to say the right things, but we got to see it on the field. Now, Clayton Adams, he said we're going to be violent. We're not going to really know if we're going to be violent until the first game against Philly. You know what? I don't want Dak to get injured. Brian Schottenheimer seriously needs to consider playing his entire starting lineup one quarter against the Ravens. Just one quarter. Because I'm telling you, I got a strange feeling Lamar Jackson is playing. He might play. Even though if they unleash Cooper Rush on us, it's not going to be no problem. We'll probably knock them off easy with Cooper. I mean, we'll knock the Baltimore Ravens off easy with Cooper Rush. But the Cowboys have got to get that starting lineup out there. Because I'm telling you, to see it for the first time against the Eagles, y'all mark my words. Y'all saw what happened today? It's going to take it'll take a little time for Dak to get that ramped up. It'll take a little time, I'm telling us. Man, we got to realize, man, Dak Prescott hasn't played since week 9. He hasn't played since week 9. And again, I don't think Dak needs a lot of time, but I would love for Brian Schottenheimer to let the starting lineup get out there with a very strict count. I mean, you got your plays all planned out. You know, a pretty strict snap count. Let them get out there first quarter, kind of get their hands a little dirty. Tell Dak, bro, I want you to play like Peyton Manning did after his neck injury. If they even breathe on you, fall to the ground. If they breathe on you, go down on one knee. But I don't know. I don't think the Cowboys are going to do it. Miss Matrix said, granted it was backup, Malik Davis actually didn't look half bad tonight. Miss Matrix, this dude came out with a different type of energy. He came out with a different type of energy. Him and Will Grier. They came out with a different type of energy. Dallas Mob, he said, make a commitment to run the ball. And again, Dallas Mob, and it don't even mean you're going to run it 50. It don't even mean you're going to run it 50-50. But I agree with you. You have to make a commitment to run the ball. And they didn't make that commitment early on. I think if they could have made that commitment early on, I think it would have opened up some things for them a little bit later, but they didn't do it. TME Greatness says, anyone said Joe Milton will start off with Dak Prescott. I'm calling y'all retarded. Point blank, period. Boy, hey, TME. Boy, every time we bring a quarterback into Dallas, he taking Dak's spot. Boy, yeah, I'm with you, man. Miss Matrix said, I get super irritated every time people bring up a cannon arm. Okay, who is that help? Anthony Richardson, Josh Allen, Milton. Straight up facts. Mixed Matrix, I'm telling us. People say this stuff all the time. These big arm quarterbacks are not winning championships. You can tell me anything you want to about these big arm they're not winning championships. Patrick Mahomes, I think that they were trying to get Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen a few years ago to have a throwing contest. Patrick Mahomes, I'm not doing that. I'm not having no throwing contest. What for? To prove that Josh Allen can throw farther than me? Yeah, he can. Problem is he can't get farther in the playoffs than me. That's the problem. That's the problem. Robert Paulson, appreciate that super chat. He said, we respected Bazooka Joe. Boy, this man was Robert Paulson. He said we were expecting Bazooka Joe. He said he got Sloppy Joe instead. He said, I want to see some more Malik Will and Jalen Brooks on offense. Oh, boy, he said rather than Bazooka Joe, he got Sloppy Joe. You know, it's ironic that you said that because he was actually sloppy. Very sloppy. All right. Let's get some more Brian Schottenheimer here. Boy, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Boy, let me see here. Primo said nothing new here, same old Cowboys. Primo, I don't think it's going to be same old Cowboys because I think the starters are going to be different. But where I'm concerned is when you talk about the same old Cowboys. I saw a lot of penalties again. That should trickle down to your second. That should trickle down to your second team too. That's a lack of concentration. A lack of concentration when you're talking about those kinds of penalties. And even when you start talking about settling down Joe Milton and getting settled down, I don't think the Cowboys, I don't ever think they were riled up. I don't ever think they were riled up. I don't think they ever really settled down until, I don't know. I mean, they looked the best to me when Will Greer came in for that short amount of time. It seemed like the whole team took a sigh of relief, like, oh, okay, now we can play. And they just started playing. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. All right, let's get some more of Brian Schottenheimer in.
About your first time out, I know it's not the real game. It's preseason, still your first time head coach. Jerry said some stuff on the radio about you guys shared a moment.
Yeah, we did. I got a little bit choked up coming to the stadium, and then when Jerry and I talked a little bit, I'll be honest, I got a little emotional. It's been a dream of mine to be in this chair, and he and I were just talking about our journeys, and we were telling some stories. And he's obviously been in a long time. I've been in a long time. It was just the two of us, and I'm very appreciative of him and the Jones family for having me in this chair. And like I've told you guys from the beginning, no one's going to work harder than me, and we're going to go look at this film and try to clean it up. And I think we've got some good film to look at from an evaluation standpoint. But at the end of the day, I'll remember this day for a long time. It's not the result that we wanted, but first time out there as a head coach, it felt pretty cool.
It's been cleaning up things. I don't know if you need to clean up 80.
Hold on, let me capitalize on something. JS in the crib, JCKQ1WB. Good to see you tonight. He said, how many starters played around the league this weekend? We got 3 weeks to keep working. Relax. JS, you're wrong, but I respectfully say you're wrong. We don't actually have, while we may have 3 weeks when you look at the calendar, the problem is we're playing on a Thursday night. We're playing on a Thursday night. So we're going to have 2 more preseason games. We're going to have 1 week off. And then you're going to have 1 week off. Then you come back that week. And you got to start getting ready earlier than you normally would because it's a Thursday night game. Now, JS, the other problem is, when are your starters going to play together? Dak Prescott's been out since week 9. When are your starters actually going to get some live bullets? Now, let me give you this other part. I like what you said. Hold on a second. You said which starters played. Let's check this out real quick. Let's check this out. When I think about starters playing, let me tell you who did play, because there were starters that played. In particular, a quarterback. The best quarterback in the league, JS, played this past week. His name is Patrick Mahomes. If I'm not mistaken, Patrick Mahomes played. And if he didn't play, he's playing. They've already talked about it. Let me see. Patrick Mahomes played. It says he went 1 for 1 for a 1-yard TD in his brief preseason, but he did play. Let me see here. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes did play. Oh, and as a matter of fact, there is another starter that played, if I'm not mistaken. Shoot, Joe Burrow's out there, bro. If I'm not mistaken, Joe Burrow's out there. Patrick Mahomes was out there for he played 6 snaps in the preseason last year, but he played 2 plays or whatever the case was. But he got out there a little bit. Kyler Murray played the entire first quarter for the Arizona Cardinals. So that's 2 starters. We have also, let me see, what was Joe Burrow? Joe Burrow played in the preseason. Let me see. If I'm not mistaken, Bam, I think Joe Burrow might have played more than all of them. This boy Joe Burrow's out there. Shoot. Hey, JS, this is what I'm telling you. Hey, this is what I'm telling you. Nah, this dude Joe Burrow played, bro. So you got already Kyler Murray. You got Patrick Mahomes, didn't play. I don't know if you can really call that, but he played a couple of plays. But this dude, Joe Burrow, shoot. Joe Burrow came out here and actually played, man. Look at this. Burrow played, man. Bengals Joe Burrow downplays 2 TD preseason performance today was average. He played. Yeah, he played. Joe Burrow doesn't want to hear any glowing reviews after Thursday night's preseason game against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Cincinnati Bengals quarterback played 2 series, tossing 2 touchdown passes before exiting. He missed his first pass, but finished 9 of 10 for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns in 1 quarter of action. Joe Burrow played, man. Joe Burrow played. Jamar Chase, they played. They played. They played. And I'm telling us, man, these Cowboys, we have not, I mean, Dak hasn't been out here since week 9, and I know Dak's going to get it back together, but my issue is a slow start. A slow start with Dak Prescott. And if we get down by 14, you get behind the 8 ball with a Matt Eberflus style of defense, those bend don't break defenses. They're not built to play from behind. Those defenses are actually built to either play with a lead or play with the game extremely close. But yeah, those guys played. Let me see who else. Let's see if we can find. But again, I'm telling us that yeah, they played. They played, JS. Yeah, they played for sure. And if we could figure out a way to keep Dak safe and do it, I'm just all for it. I just think Dak needs to get out there and play some. I really do. I think he needs to get out there and play some. I think the first team really need to get out there and don't let Philadelphia. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all what the Cowboys are facing. The Cowboys are facing what they normally face. Every team gets up for the Cowboys. Every team gets up for the Cowboys. I don't care if they have 0 wins. The Saints beat the living daylights out the Cowboys last year, and everybody started putting them as Super Bowl favorites, only for them to literally fall apart. I mean, they went on a tremendous lose streak after the Cowboys. And, shoot, what's his name? Derek Carr, he wound up retiring. Every team gets up for the Cowboys. Let me tell you something. I'm glad we're playing the Eagles that first game, but let me tell you, do not think for a second. You think the Rams were fired up for the Cowboys? You ain't seen nothing. You have not seen nothing. The Philadelphia Eagles, they are, I'm telling you, they're going to smell blood with the Cowboys. Because all this talk about the Cowboys are much improved, brand new coach, George Pickens, watch what I tell you. They are going to be hyped up on a whole nother level. I'm really waiting to, I'm really wanting to see Brian, because when you start talking about coaching and getting guys kind of revved up, man, you got to really get, I mean, you got to see this early on, even in the guys who are going to be backing up, because again, we saw some players who are absolutely going to be playing with the first team, and they didn't look too well tonight. JS, again, it is what it is, because if the Eagles come out like we think they are, whether it be now or then, something's gonna happen. No, I would still like to see the Cowboys. I don't care if it's 1 series. I don't care. Get him in. Get him in. I don't think the Cowboys will. I'm sure Jerry's not gonna let them do it. The real Daryl, if Dak did play, does that cover up the issues we saw on defense? I agree that he should play a series or 2. Let me tell you what's going to happen this season, real Daryl. Dak Prescott, once he gets kind of revved up, Dak Prescott is going to do what he normally does unless we go out there and get us a 1-tech, go out there, get us a cornerback. Unless we go out here and make a few more moves on defense, Dak's going to do what he always does. Dak is going to hide so many deficiencies on this defense. See, a Matt Eberflus defense if y'all hadn't figured it out yet, it's it's to me, it's maybe a more simpler form of a Dan Quinn style of defense. It's a more simpler form of a Dan Quinn type of defense. So his defense is made to play with a lead. So once Dak and this offense really gets revved up, it won't be no problem for Matt Eberflus, I don't believe, early on. I think the problem for Eberflus will come later on down the road when you get into the meat of that schedule. When you're going to start playing the Raiders, the Kansas Cities, when you start playing those teams, the Broncos, when you get into those types of teams, those defenses, man, they get in a little bit of trouble. Robert Paulson, appreciate that $5 super chat. Robert Paulson said if Dak don't get the interceptions out now, Philly will get him. If Brian don't stand up to Jerry, he is merely T-Boo McCarthy. He is T-Boo McCarthy. I'm pretty sure that Brian's going to probably talk to him about playing. I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, JS. No, I'm not agreeing with you there. No, I guarantee you Jerry has a lot to do with this. I guarantee you Jerry has a lot to do with this. Yeah. If it's up to Brian, I think that Dak would play. But we'll see. I don't foresee it happening. Tyrone Church, they should have committed to the run. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think that could have settled Joe Milton down early on. I think it could have settled him down. I think after Joe Milton's first incompletion, they should have ran the ball. Help Joe to settle down. Talk to him in his ear. Settle down. Let's get you something easy. I talked about this during the game. One of the things I thought they should have did for Joe Milton. Hey, okay, we see he's kind of real. I don't know what was going on. Hey, let's get him some easy stuff. Let's get him a couple of bootlegs. Let's get him some bootlegs, some rollouts. Let's get him some safety valve stuff underneath. Let's get him a screenplay here or there. Let's not let him go down the field just yet. Let's get some easy completions under his belt. Let the defense move up a little bit because you're playing the short game. We already know Joe Milton can throw the ball, so play the short game a little bit. Get the defense to move up. Then you start hitting them with a couple of deep shots. But, yeah, it seemed like to me they were a little too cocky with Joe Milton. They were a little too cocky to me. That's how I saw it. Yeah, Rolando Rodriguez. He said you can't start the game throwing 6 straight times. No. Even if Dak is playing, you have to run the ball. I just thought I was the same way. I thought it was too much. Azteca Aguilar, what's going on? He said, I just got home from the game. Yikes. You can't stop the run. I know it's our backups, but come on. But Azteca, but you know what the problem was with us not stopping the run in this particular game? Our starting one tech played in this game, and he got ran over. The guy who's going to be alternating with him, Jay Toya, not effective. Perion Winfrey got moved around. Those guys, it's a concern because those guys are going to play. They are going to play. And I think it tells us that we need, it tells us we need a one tech for sure. Gene Moore said they only ran 12 basic plays. What we seen tonight isn't worth a grain of salt. Very few players are serious right now. Well, I can tell you this. If this is how Gene, my concern is this. So why do we get this pass? Why are we, I don't think we're at 3 alarm, but why are we getting this pass? Why are we getting the pass, Gene, that we only ran 12 basic plays? I didn't see the Rams out there running double reverses. I didn't see them out there running flea flickers. I didn't see the Rams out there running Statue of Liberties. I didn't see the Rams doing anything fancy either. But what I did see, how can you say very few players are serious right now? Do you really want, okay, you said except the ones trying to make the 53. So if all the starters set out, so aren't the players that are on the field tonight, are they not the ones trying to make the 53-man roster? Gene, what are you saying? They are the guys trying to make the 53-man roster. Those were second and third teamers out there. But the thing is, why are we giving ourselves this excuse, Gene? Because that's not how the Rams approach the scrimmage, and that's not how the Rams approach this preseason game. Where is the intensity? Where's the energy? This is all we've been talking about. And now all of a sudden, I'm listening to Brian Schottenheimer. I don't hear none of the energy I've been hearing from him before we got to this game tonight. Where is it? All I've been hearing, energy. Energy is not something, Gene. It's not something, Cowboy fans, that you just turn on and turn off. And it's not something you say, yeah, man, we you know, when our starters come in, we turn on the energy. No. Super Bowl teams, the energy of the team is turned up. The energy of the team is turned all the way up. And I'm telling us now, the Rams almost knocked off the Eagles last year. Has anybody noticed even in the preseason? The Rams look like they're picking up where they left off. They look like they are picking up in the preseason. Why are we giving ourselves this excuse? The scrimmage, I give it to us. But you play the same team? And we're not expecting you to come out and run. We don't want you to open up the playbook. But the energy level, the intensity, the physicality, the discipline, these are your second team players who are actually going to be playing in the game. Why are we giving ourselves that excuse? That excuse can't fly, man. I'm sorry, Gene. That excuse can't fly. These sound like excuses to me. I could get us saying it's the first preseason game, but what I can't get with it's the first preseason game, there are no worries. No. We looked at our second line of defense, and they're going to be playing some of the first. Let me emphasize it again. Mozzie, starter. Toya, rotational with him. Perrion Winfrey is going to play one tech. They got moved all over the place like cheap furniture by the second team of the Rams. The second team. If I'm playing the Cowboys, if I'm the Eagles and I'm playing the Cowboys and Mozzie Smith out there, I'm running right at him. I'm running right at him. The Cowboys got to start figuring out some things. Now, I said this before. I do think this is the evaluation game that I believe the Cowboys will go out, at least this is what I'm hoping. I believe the Cowboys will go out and now start seeking some outside players. That's my belief. That's my hope. I'm not sure they're going to do it. Dominique said, I need pushback from Shotty. Don't be another Mike. Yeah, man. And you know, we'll see what happens as he keeps going. I know he doesn't want to try to knock the morale of the team down, but we can't take this attitude of it was just the preseason. It was the preseason for the Rams. We keep acting like, yeah, man, the Rams, everybody, we're going to play from this point forward. It's preseason for us. So we just kind of taking it easy. You know, we just kind of throwing something out there. Yeah. And meanwhile, other teams are coming out here laying the hammer on us. They're laying the hammer on us, leaving us laying on the field. Did anybody notice this? They're leaving the Cowboys laying on the field. Nobody saw that common theme. The Rams were leaving Cowboys laying on the field. I don't recall seeing a bunch of Rams on the field. They were leaving Cowboys laying on the field with little nitpicky injuries. Pure Gaming, he said, I pray the starters stay healthy because there was no backups that wowed me. See, Pure Gaming, This is the point I'm making. These are guys who are our second line of defense. They're not our third line, they're our second line. And some of these guys were getting their man, I'm not worried about the plays, the play design, but what I am worried about is when these guys are going up mano a mano, they were moving us out of the way. And some of those guys we were watching, they're going to be playing or in some type of rotation. All right, let's get back to Shotty. Let's hear a couple of more things from Shotty.
On where he's supposed to stand. You talked to him about that, and
Yeah.
very moment because he could have got hurt.
Yeah, briefly. Again, I'll speak to the whole discipline part, just like the pre-snap penalties, that penalty. We got to be better with discipline, and I think I hope the guy's okay. I think he's okay. The official that they ran into, but we have to be better than that. CD knows better, we know better, but the discipline on our part, we're fine with the combative penalties. But, when we don't line up off sides, they warned us a couple times, and, we have to do a better job, coaching and playing and, hey, move up tackles. I think Awesome got called twice, and, you can't give away penalties in this league, and so we have to be better.
And so this is another part where we're gonna get to see now. I said this at the scrimmage. The Cowboys got tape to look at. Brian gets to see how himself and his staff evaluates film. One, to get ready for a game. I don't think they got ready for the Rams. They just didn't seem ready. Number two, how do we look at our own tape from the Rams so we can be better against the Ravens? Because I'm telling you, man, game two is your last opportunity. Game two is your last opportunity. There are some things. I'm not concerned about the Cowboys beating the Ravens. I just want to see discipline, intensity, energy, execution, physicality. Show me that stuff right there. I'm not caring about the score. Because if you're doing those 5 things, the score takes care of itself. Doesn't mean you're going to win, but it takes care of itself. You'll probably be in those preseason games because you want your guys. The thing that we're talking about is, why is it seems like to me all the energy talk, the physicality talk, the competitiveness talk, why did it seem like that went out the window after the Rams scrimmage? I mean, it just dissipated. It dissipated. And it's like I'm hearing some of the same things I heard last year. New coaching staff. We got to give it time to get wound up. I'm with that part 1,000%. We got to give it time to wound up. But we still need to see, okay, what is their bounce back against the Ravens? Will there be less penalties? Will they be sharper? Will they be able to stop the run? Will they be more physical? I'm telling you, the Ravens is another one of these physical teams. The Ravens is another one of these physical teams. The real Daryl, he said, how did the 2 rookie defensive tackles that were drafted in the 7th round look? Toya, I couldn't tell. I don't think he got a lot of snaps. But again, Toya got moved around. He did. He got moved around. Mixed matrix, you said it perfectly. Preseason doesn't count, but it matters. You said it perfectly. Rolando Rodriguez, he says, Jaguars quarterback also started. Go Cowboys. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, people are playing. Some of these people are playing. Derek Grimsley, what's going on? He said, gee, because all the other teams in the NFL are realizing their starters need to be in a rhythm before the season starts. You only get 3 preseason games. You're only going, you know what the reality is? You only get 2. The 3rd one don't count. The 3rd one is a bona fide dress rehearsal and for bubble players. The 3rd one don't even count. You really only have 1 game. You have 1 game to really say, okay, this is the game that we're really going to go out here and say, okay, we're going to really get ready for this thing. Now, if you choose not to play your starters, okay, that'll be fine too. We'll just have to see what it does. We'll just have to see what it is against the Eagles. But I'm just telling us, man, these Eagles, these boys gonna be fired up. I'm just telling you. I hope our starters just come out and just, because we did see these starters against these Rams in the scrimmage. I'm hoping they come out and I'm hoping they can come in and turn it out. Now, we were missing the left side of the line, Tyler Smith and Guyton. We were missing both of them. But I'm telling you, we got to get this mentality turned up a little bit, because I'm not seeing some of the same talk that we were talking about in training camp. Dominique Pittman said Burrow said he coming for his this season. I believe him. Shoot, I believe him. Lucky for what he said, hit on CD. Boy, that man, you know what? Wait a minute, Lucky fool went up in that trip and he said, oh, sick. He said, I seen all night. He said it was the hardest hit I seen all night. We could have used that referee on defense. Man, hey, you know what? It's funny, but it's true. Alfredo said, look, go back at the boys' preseason records through the years. Dallas only ever have good results in preseasons because they treat those games like what they are, practice games. You know what? I actually went back and looked at that already. And I was thinking that the Cowboys, the Cowboys probably didn't win. Preseason games, and where I wanted to go back to was the Super Bowl year of '92. And if I'm not mistaken, the Cowboys actually did. If I'm not mistaken, the Cowboys actually did win. They actually did fare pretty good in those preseason games. Yeah, I kind of went back and looked at it, and let's see, 1992. In 1992, the Cowboys beat the Dolphins in the first preseason game. Let's see. Cowboys came back the next week. See who they're playing. Dallas Cowboys played the Houston Oilers. They lost to the Houston Oilers in the Texas Bowl by 1 point. It was 17-16 Houston. The Cowboys came back again. And they played the Chicago Bears. Okay, they did lose 20-13. So they were kind of 1-2 in those. Or it looks like here. Let's see. Yeah, I think they were kind of 1-2 in those. You know, and I guess the only thing is, it's not the loss. And that's the part I'm trying to really emphasize, Alfredo. It's not the loss. It's the lack of energy they've been talking about, the lack of intensity, the lack of physicality, the lack of discipline, which Brian Schottenheimer is talking about, and even the lack of execution. Those things to me have nothing to do with the preseason. Those are things you should be doing. Period. That has nothing to do. And you should be doing those things in practice. That's why Brian himself is saying they need to clean those things up. That's why he's saying it. They need to clean it up. They do. Robert Paul, he said, if they don't let this offense shred in the preseason, nobody take them seriously, and it starts with their own confidence. Lev got took out by a ref. Appreciate that super chat. All right, let's get back to Shotty, and then we'll come back to some more comments. I appreciate y'all rocking with me this Cowboys After Dark. My man Daniel M, I see you up in here. I'm going to come to some of your comments in a minute. I'm very interested to see what you're saying up in here. Because I'm telling you, boy, they got moved around like old furniture today. And those were starters out there too. Mozzie was a starter.
With ESPN, the operation of things, how to being on the sideline, having Flus down there, how did all that stuff go?
You can make all the money you want in the world, but you'll never get the respect.
I think it went good. You know, threw my first challenge flag ever. That was kind of cool. They told me I threw a nice one. You know, the reason we challenged that was it was fourth down. It was a big play. I mean, it was down inside the 10-yard line, like a 40-yard bomb, and we did think that the ball moved a little bit, and they admitted that it moved, but they did think that he maintained the catch. But I thought in that situation it was worth it just because it was fourth down. We're about to get the ball at midfield, and but overall, I mean, I thought the communication was good. You know, we played some of these situations like a real game because I needed to work those situations with my staff and decision-making and things like that. And then there were other ones that we played like preseason. There's a few times we probably would have onside kicked and done things like that. That last situation we scored, I told Flus, let's play this like 4 minute. We were down 10 points and wanted to see us get a stop. And, again, we were great. You know, really, I think we gave up 2 point something in the first half run defense-wise. And then the second half, we just kind of didn't tackle very well.
Whoa, wait. Wait. Brian said that they only had about 2-something yards. Brian said the Rams only had like 2-point-something yards per carry in the first half. Let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all something. I'm telling you, this is one of these issues with this Matt Eberflus style of defense. I'm going to show you something because I mentioned this during the game. Watch this right here. See, this kind of talk right here. This kind of talk right here is disingenuous. This is disingenuous talk. Now notice, Brian Schottenheimer says the first half, they only had the first half, it was only 2-point-something yards per carry or something like that. They were stopping the run as it applies to the Rams. But let's look at the rest of this story. That's a little bit disingenuous right there, Brian. Let's go down here. Why did we think that the Cowboys, why do we think this was actually happening? Why is it the Rams were not really, why is it they only had a few yards? Well, do we not realize that they were balling on the Cowboys? They were having their way in the passing game. The Rams were having their way in the passing game. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can pull something else up. See, this kind of talk is a little bit disingenuous. And let me see. I want to see if I can get the quarter by quarter thing on this, because I'm telling us, man, the way the Rams were, the way they were just manhandling the Cowboys in the first half in the passing game. I mean, they were literally killing the Cowboys. Why would they run the ball? There was no reason to run the ball. I mean, there was no reason to run it. There was nothing they could do. The Rams scored 14 points in the first quarter. 14 points. 14 points. And I think they had a turnover, if I'm not mistaken, in the second quarter, but they got them 14 points. There was no reason. I mean, Stetson was 16 or 24. He was 7.8 yards per pass. Dude, what? That is crazy work. Stetson Bennett went to work on him. Miss Matrix just mentioned this. She said this is the second year in advance row that Stetson and company embarrassed our backups, and he stayed throwing picks. Shoot, he went bonkers. I mean, as much as you could on the Cowboys in the first half. let me see here. So the Rams. Okay, so let's see if we can pull this up. So the Rams went 79 yards. They went 79 yards in the first quarter. I'm sorry, yeah, 79 yards on their first scoring drive. I kind of wanted to check this out. Let me look at it real quick. So when you think about the first play, let's see if we can look at some of this in this first drive. Okay, the first play, up the middle for 2 yards. The second play was 2nd and 8. Bennett short pass to Allen for 13 yards. The third play, 1st and 10, shotgun. Bennett short left, 4 yards. The next play looks like it was a penalty or something. Next play, Corum up the middle, 6 yards. Next play, 2nd and 9, Bennett short right to Smith, 15 yards. The next play, Bennett short right, 4 yards. Next play, Bennett incomplete. Next play, Bennett incomplete. They went for it on 4th and 6. Next play, Bennett deep to for 39 yards. Dallas challenged the completion ruling. It was a completion. It was 1st and goal. 2nd and goal. Bennett left in for 2 yards. 3rd and goal. Shotgun. Corum up the middle, 2 yards. There was no reason. I mean, yeah, y'all stopped them in the run game because they were passing on you. I mean, that's kind of disingenuous. They were passing on you. You get to the second drive. Look at this. Stetson Bennett, short play, 4 yards. A short pass, 4 yards. Corum right in, 9 yards. They just didn't run the ball a lot. Hunter, left guard. Dallas, 5 yards. Hunter up the middle, 4 yards. Then left guard, 42, no gain. Bennett scrambles right, ran 4 yards. Let's see. Bennett short pass to Stoops, the Dallas 25, 13 yards. Bennett pass short, 5 yards. Left guard, 2 yards. 3rd and 3, incomplete pass. Let's see here. Pass interference, 8 yards. 1st and goal, incomplete pass. Pass short on the 2nd and goal. 3rd and goal, Corum up the middle. I mean, when they wanted to run the short yard runs, they were able to do it. Yeah, it's no wonder you stopped them. They didn't really have to run. I mean, when Booth is on the field, bro, I mean, when Booth is on the field, you just don't have to do a lot. They had a stall drive in the second quarter. That's what I thought. It was an interception. Then they had a field goal. They had a field goal. And then they got another touchdown. Let me see. I don't know why that says that because it shows here that's 2 touchdowns actually. But nevertheless, they didn't have to run the ball on the Cowboys because they could throw it anytime they wanted to. I mean, they were really, and I think that's the third quarter, they were doing whatever they want to do to the Cowboys. I really don't understand the conversation of giving yourself the small victory of you saying that, yeah, we held them to 2 yards in the first half, 2-point-some yards, and then you're that's a little disingenuous to me. Don't really like that kind of talk. No, bro, y'all No, bro, y'all just didn't look right. Y'all didn't look right. Okay, my man Daniel Aaron, right-hand man, he said Izzy played good. Izzy. Okay, we're talking about Israel. Yeah, Izzy played good. Okay. Mixed Matrix, she said, yeah, she's not sold on the cornerback room. I want them to prove me wrong. Mixed Matrix. That's why I say the cornerback room is another problem because some of those guys we saw out there tonight, they are some of the guys that are going to be trying to fill in until Savon Revel Jr. and Trayvon Diggs get back. All right. I think they're going to win this thing. I think they're going to win it next year. I just think this year is going to be, they're still roster building. You can't build the best roster in football in one season the way Stephen Jones said. You just can't do it. You can't do it unless you're willing, unless some kind of way you find a way to do a Herschel Walker trade. And Jimmy didn't even build the Cowboys in one season. I mean, if you're gonna try to be like with the Rosemans and stuff, man, you got to make some aggressive moves. Pickens is a very aggressive move, but he's not enough. You got to go out there and do something like a DJ Reader, a Christian Wilkins. I mean, you got to go and make some serious moves. Daniel said, "Gee, it might be time for the Cowboys to sign Gilmore." I'm 100% in agreement. It is time for them to sign Gilmore and Wilkins on Sunday to save us trouble. I would, man, if I was Cowboys, I would send Wilkins into counseling. I would seriously consider getting this man. He said, "I mean, they got nothing to lose, and yet there I am giving them ideas when they should be doing this." I'm wondering if they're really talking about this thing with Christian Wilkins once, out there and free. Man, that's serious business. Brady McIntyre said, "Go get Wilkins, go get Gilmore." Yeah, that's where I am too. Appreciate that super chat, you and Robert Paulson. Yeah, that's where I am too, man. I mean, if you seriously want to make this into a serious championship season, man, go out there and you got to get your Bruce back up in here. Bruce said, "Where's the defensive tackles?" That it looked like all linebackers, for real. For real. But again, man, I understand Shotty don't want to beat his team up. I'm pretty sure he's going to beat him up behind closed doors a little bit. But, yeah, that's a little bit disingenuous, that run stat right there. I mean, there was no need for the Rams to run. You couldn't stop him in the pass. And with Booth out there at the secondary, bro, you ain't stopping nobody.
Going off on us. But overall, I thought a lot of things to learn from, a lot of things that came up for me. But I thought the communication for the most part between myself and the staff, Falus, Nick Sorensen, was good.
Was one of those situations end of half where preseason maybe you go for it there, but you kick the field goal just to play it out what you would in a game?
Yeah, I mean, we were struggling to move the ball. We had limited ops. I knew we were getting the ball first, to start the second half. And so, you can say let Joe throw it there, but, I wanted to play a little bit more close to the vest like a real game. And, hey, let's take the points. And shoot, I felt really good about, coming out in the second half. And so that's kind of why we made that decision.
My last one for you. On Joe, you talked about make the simple play, find a check down. The pick there in that first drive, was that a situation where don't force it, just live for another day, or how do you view
Yeah, again, 2nd and 4. He's got a check down in front of him, ultra competitive. He's moving left, and, threw it up there. Now, Flo's, he's trusting Flo in that situation to try to make a play. But I think that's one of the things that when Joe watches it, he'll be like, yeah, I probably should have taken the check down. I got moved off the launch point. And, again, that's why he needs to play. And I do think he settled down. I think he found his rhythm late, started using his legs a little bit better. And, again, terrific talent that every rep he gets is going to help him become a great pro.
Now, see, this is another problem I have. I used to say this early on this channel, and I'm going to start saying it again. Always beware when somebody calls you talented. Always beware when someone keeps calling someone talented. When someone keeps saying that someone is talented, you know what they're saying in reality? Unrealized, or they have not been successful. That's what they're saying. They're giving you the reason why they should be successful. Because they're not successful. Anybody ever notice when we talk about Patrick Mahomes? Who calls Patrick Mahomes talented? Who? Who has conversations about Patrick Mahomes saying, yeah, man, Patrick Mahomes is talented? Who says this? Who says that about when you think about championship quarterbacks, top 10, top 5 quarterbacks? When's the last time you heard somebody say, yeah, man, that boy Tom Brady, talented? Who ever called Deion Sanders talented? Michael Irvin, talented. Emmitt Smith, talented. Who called him that? When people are calling a person talented, always look at the context of why they're calling the person talented. How many times have you had a conversation with a young person, maybe your son or your daughter, and you're telling them, you're too talented to be doing this stuff? Really? Yeah. You're not using the talent right. People don't understand something on this level. And I'm telling you, man, Brian to me is starting to sound like how they were on Cooper Rush last year. In the immortal words of one Sean P. Diddy Combs, talent is extra. Who cares? Everybody's talented on this level. You don't make it to the pros and not be talented. They're better than us. There's not many people that can play professional football. They're talented. They're all talented. But the ones who can apply the talent, they do the stuff like the Patrick Mahomes, the Lamars, the Joshes, the Daks. They're doing that stuff, the Burrows. We're not just calling them, because you ever think about, they're always talking about Justin Herbert. Oh, immensely talented. Why are you saying he's immensely talented? Because he hasn't won. He hasn't won. And so when I hear somebody keep saying they want to beat in our heads, Joe Milton is talented. Okay, and we're not concerned about your talent as much as, can you play doggone quarterback? That's all we're worried about. Can you play quarterback? That's all we're worried about. They keep blowing Joe Milton's head up. I remember one time I told my mom back in the day, there was a girl I was talking about to my mom, and I said she was acting funny. And I told my mom, I said, yeah, she thinks she's pretty. My mom looked at me in the square in the eyes, and she said, you do know she has a mirror, don't you? Exactly. Yeah, she knows she's pretty. She don't think she's pretty. She knows she's pretty. And that's why she's acting a certain way. And Joe Milton, ever since he came into Dallas, all the Dallas media, Dallas Cowboy fans, all they have done is praise Joe Milton. That's all they've done. Like, Joe Milton was the best kept secret in the NFL. Every team made a mistake except for the Cowboys, giving up a 6th round or whatever. I forgot what we gave up for Joe Milton. Like we're the only team that was smart enough to do that when there were other teams that needed quarterbacks. Come on, man. I know he's not supposed to just flat out be on here bashing Joe Milton. Come on, man. The dude, he needs work, man. Stop with all the talented stuff. Stop it. Brian was doing this from the very beginning. I said it don't make sense to be doing it. You don't have to keep telling people that Joe Milton is talented. We can look at his draft profile, and his draft profile will tell us everything that he is. Yeah, he's talented. Splash plays, no consistency. I'm laughing that he said that he trusted Joe Milton on double coverage. Come on, Brian. Come on, Brian. We got to stop this. It's not the play this so much that's bothering me. I'm hearing some of the same stuff. And this is not the stuff that I expected to hear from Brian Schottenheimer. This is not the stuff. It's sounding like some of the same stuff. Lucky fool would, trust me, I'm relaxed. I'm just telling us what I'm seeing. I'm not overreacting, I'm reacting. He's saying it. To keep calling Joe Milton talented makes no sense to me. Why do we keep doing it? We don't have to keep calling Joe Milton talented. Heck no, man. This dude needs serious work. But we keep trying to present him like he don't need serious work. He needs serious work. And even when he settled down, he still needed serious work. Still needed serious work, and he still needs serious work. He does. And we got to stop praising this dude, man. We got to stop praising this dude. No, bro, you need work. Put Will Greer. You wanna get real with him? Put Will Greer in. Will Greer will show all of us what he is. Shoot. Will Greer will show us where this dude is. Randy McIntyre said this Shotty looked confused in the press conference. He does. He looks a little weird in the press conference, don't he? Isn't it strange, Randy McIntyre? He don't look like he was looking up until this point. He's not looking the same, is he? Because if this game is really just nothing, as everybody keeps saying, no, I don't think Shotty's taking this game as nothing. I don't think he's taking it like that. I don't. I think Shotty is seeing, nah, bro. I think he's saying, man, nah, bro, we got some work to do. And that's why I said before, as much as I love Brian Schottenheimer, I'm still driving the Brian Schottenheimer bus. New coach, new coaching staff, new installments, new players. This team needs some time. They're going to need some time. I think they're going to flash. I've already said this. I think they're going to flash this season. They're going to flash. If Jerry and Steven don't get them some more help, I'm not worried about the offense. None. I'm not worried about the offense. As long as Dak is healthy, I'm not worried about the offense. They're going to put up points. I'm concerned about the defense. I'm concerned about the defense. And I'm telling you, I told y'all this before. You mess around, and your defense can't stop nobody. And you mess around, team wins the toss, go down, make it 7-0. They put pressure on your offense. Your offense has got to score almost every single time, because if your offense has a mishap, don't score, and then a team winds up getting up on your offense 14-0, I'm telling you, these Matt Eberflus defenses, they're not made to play from behind. They're not made to play from behind. They're made just like Dan Quinn. The thing that used to just aggravate me about Dan Quinn's defenses, they were made to play with a lead. They're not made for comebacks. They're not made for comebacks. They're made to play with a lead. Pure Gaming says, I think his arm talent is gassing Milton's head up. I do too. He wants to show it off and tries to make every throw. And I was talking about that during the game. When these guys with these big arms, they always think they can place a ball where nobody else can. They always want to show everybody they got the big arm. No, bro, we don't need that, because the successful quarterbacks, they don't do that. They just don't do that. Randy McIntyre, he says, it's time to see what we can give him. Hey, we ain't going to start that conversation tonight. People lose their mind when you start talking about Michael Parsons. Oh, the big Rumbowski is in here. What's going on with you, man? Man, hey, Robert Paulson, let me tell you something. A lot of people believe this too. A lot of people believe that Greer was better than Cooper Rush. A lot of people said that Greer beat Cooper Rush out. I was surprised the Cowboys picked him over Greer. Man, Daniel, I don't even know what that dance was. Big Rabowski said where Colin was right. Head coaches and quarterbacks need to be grown-ups. Head coaches wear his files backwards. Wait a minute. Big Rabowski said preseason loss in game 1. It's over. Season's done. Pack it up. No, the season ain't over. The Cowboys are going to look good. I'm telling you, the Cowboys are going to be great. To me, they're going to be great on offense. I think they're going to score bukus of points on teams. I just don't want to fall back into the trap of everything is predicated upon Dak Prescott carrying the team. Because that looks like at this point, unless we do something at that one tech position and get us another cornerback, it's going to be the same thing where Dak Prescott is still carrying the team. I'm telling you, Dak Prescott is going to ball this year. Dak Prescott is going to ball. The issue is going to be the defense. It's going to be the defense. I'm telling you, unless they do something different, it's going to be the defense. Big Rabowski, somebody else was saying the same thing. They said CeeDee Lamb going to have a season-long leg injury by that ref hit. Somebody else said the same thing. I was rolling bored. All right, hold on. Let's get some more of this. Get some more of this. Get some more of Shotty here.
Producers, this plugin helps you finish your tracks way faster.
Y'all don't worry. I'm still driving the Brian Schottenheimer bus.
What was the decision with Booker and I guess, Sadiq Charles gets hurt too? Is that part of it that you just are trying to keep the offensive line as healthy as possible?
No, I mean, again, John, it's there's 3 games for us. And so we had a specific plan going into this game of who we wanted to play. And there'll be some more guys that play next week. Not going to tell you who, but it was more about, just, hey, this was the rotation we wanted to get this week. And we had a pitch count. A lot of our guys on offense had to play longer than we wanted because we only had the 6 plays. And so, next week's going to look a little bit different, and you'll see some more guys playing next week because that's been part of the plan all along. I'm hopeful that we dodged a bullet with Sadiq. We'll do some more tests, but, it was a physical game, and we, I think we came out of it okay, hopefully, with some of the tests and stuff that we've run on most of our guys.
Again, I don't know what's up with the Cowboys, but they left the Cowboys laying on the carpet, man. They left the Cowboys laying on the carpet. Them boys was physical with the Cowboys, man. Justin Brad, I like this comment. You said Sirianni started 0-4 in the preseason and went 9-8 the first year, and I hate Philly with a passion. We're going to be okay. Yeah, I think we're going to be okay, and the reason why I think we're going to be okay, though, the reason why we're going to be okay is because Dak Prescott has done more with less. Dak Prescott with George Pickens and Kevontae Turpin alternating in and out of the slot with Jalen Tolbert and then Jaden Blue in the backfield. Man, we're going to be great and then we got Jake Ferguson, the tight end. Man, the offense is going to be great. I'm not even concerned about the offense. My biggest concern is the defense. I'm not as concerned about Joe Milton because if everything goes right, man, we're not even going to see Joe Milton. I'm not worried about Joe Milton. We're not even going to see Joe Milton if everything goes right. But I'm still worried about the defense. And I've been saying this. I'm still worried about the defense. I'm praying that the Cowboys after this game, they really say we got to get aggressive at the one take or we're going to have problems again. Because I'm telling you, the Rams with their second team was running it right up the A-gaps. And every team is going to do it until we prove that we can stop them. Yeah. Okay, Justin Bradley, you've already seen it. Okay, good. So we'll get that part down at the end. Good. I'm glad he'll say that down the end. Mr. Shake and Bake said Michael walked around with a hoodie looking like a Paladin Assassin's Creed. Man, I'm sorry, bro. If I was Michael Parsons, I wouldn't be doing that. I mean, this dude's about to get paid, man. I'd be like Dak Prescott was when he's waiting on his contract, bro. My attitude would be on 1,000. I'd be feeling so good. Man, I'm about to be rich, bro. I'm about to be rich. I'm all good. All right, let's check out some more Shotty.
Was there anything about the game that you really liked?
I like the way we battled in the second half. I mean, I think, we could have, not come out and got physical, run the football. I thought Phil Maffa ran really hard. I thought that was good. I loved the defense in the first half in terms of the run stoppage. We just got to get off the field on 4th down.
What? The run? I'm missing that one, Brian. I'm missing the run stopping, bro. They were throwing all over you. They didn't have to run the ball.
I mean, that's the thing in preseason too. People are going to go for it. But I told the guys, I said, hey, look, they competed hard, but it's not about competing. It's about execution. And
Yeah, it's both
when
of
we
them.
watch the film, we're going to see there's a lot of opportunities where we did not execute very well, and that's coaching and playing alike, not just the players.
Joe, you make an excellent point. I was listening to the radio, matter of fact, last Saturday, I think it was. Me and my wife were out, and Brian Broaddus was saying that you could put together a tape of Joe Milton and show it to the league and show where he's about to tear the league up. And then the guy who was hosting with him said, and you can also put together a tape of Joe Milton showing where he ain't ready and he needs a whole lot of work. And he said you could put together a blooper reel of Joe Milton. Now, I want us to think about what has been so carefully orchestrated, it seems to me, as it applies to Milton. It seems like to me that the picture has been painted during OTAs and training camp of how Milton was going to be the best thing since sliced bread. He was going to be the best thing since sliced bread. Because I even thought that he was going to come out here in the preseason and we were going to be telling all these stories about Joe Milton. And, man, even I'm, like, surprised at this point because I really thought the first game he was going to come out here and ball out. But he looked pedestrian at best. Let me see something real quick. I was thinking about this earlier today, and I was thinking about Trey Lance's preseason games. I wonder if they'll show him here. Yeah, I wanted to see his preseason stats so I could compare him to Joe Milton's. Okay, let's see if we can see his passing. I want to see if I can get his stats because I was very interested to see what did he look like in his first preseason game. Because I'm telling you, there was one of those preseason games. That was one of those preseason games, man, where Trey Lance, boy, and I think it was the game against the Raiders, boy, people lost their minds over that game. And people were like, boy, Trey Lance, boy, he finna be the next thing since sliced, he finna be the next best thing since sliced bread. And it didn't quite turn out like that. I want to see if I could find those preseason stats. But if I'm not mistaken, I think he looked pretty good in that first go round, but then he kind of okay. Let's see here. There's somebody wrote an article about him. Let's see. And I think the game that did him in was the game against the Chargers. It said Lance played every snap in the Dallas 26-19 preseason loss to the Chargers on Saturday at AT&T Stadium and showed flashes of exciting dual threat ability the 49ers saw originally, but through not one. Boy, they killed him too. They hyped him up, boy. They said, let me show you the article here. They talk about Trey Lance, boy. Boy, they killed Trey Lance in this article. They said Lance played, let me show you right here. It says, Lance played every snap in the Dallas Cowboys 26-19 preseason loss to the Los Angeles Chargers on Saturday at AT&T Stadium and showed flashes of exciting dual threat ability. The 49ers originally saw in him, but he threw not one, not two, not three, not four. What, 5 interceptions, boy. He got done. He did himself in, boy. I was trying to catch that first game, though. The first game is the one I wanted to see. Yeah, it was the first one I wanted to see. I do think, though, Trey Lance was a better, I'm not sure about passing per se, But I do think, man, Trey seemed to be a better runner. Trey Lance was a serious runner with the ball in his hand. Yeah, he was a serious runner. I'm gonna track that down, and I'll have to do a video on that later on. Kind of looking at him versus Joe Milton as far as the preseason games go. Yeah, I want to see what that looked like because I think Trey Lance looked pretty good in that first. At least I thought he looked pretty good in that first game because that was the one where he hit Flournoy in the corner. Boy, people went crazy when he hit Flournoy in that doggone corner. Man, everybody said it was over, and then we saw the rest of the story. But Joey, you make a great point. You know, people saw practice clips of deep passes. Yeah, I mean, people kept blowing him up. Yeah, he's got a heck of an arm. Justin Bradley said, I agree with you. We need a defensive tackle and some DBs. Man, we need them bad. Bad. Big Rambowski said it was an underwhelming performance, but it's preseason. I'm not worried. What I do believe, though, is this is why, as an owner, you don't have media circus going into your new head coach's first training camp. And, you know, some teams don't even open up these practices. We've had quite a few open practices. Yeah, we've had quite a few open practices, you know. And so, again, Joe Milton just needs a lot of work. I'm not worried about Milton. As long as Dak Prescott stays healthy, we don't have to worry about it. I said it before. I'm going to say it again. Only in Dallas do people keep talking about the backup quarterback. Makes no sense. Oh, is that what that was? The stanky leg Daniel? I didn't think we were doing that dance, though. I didn't think we were doing that dance. I didn't think people were doing it. I wasn't doing it anyway. I didn't even think people was doing that game. Oh, man. I like what you said, Mr. Shake and Bake. You said he got his daddy's look with his mama's speed. Man, it's crazy. None of them got Deion's speed. Boy, Deion was a different level, man. Deion was a different level. But they can both play. Shiloh can play, for sure. He can play. I was hoping the Cowboys would have picked him up. He can play. Jim Parvin, he said, I've been saying this. Dallas can't stop the run. It's all for moot. Yeah, they got to get a one tech. I think they got to get a serious one tech. They do. Leah Fowle look good. Yeah, Leah Fowle look good. But watch what you see. Sanborn's going to be good, too. The Cowboys going to have a very good linebacking core. Very good linebacking core. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. Let's get some more Brian Schottenheimer in here.
Had the splash interception, pretty athletic play to reach back and make that kind of play. Obviously, it's a hotly contested battle there at slot corner. How much do you factor in splash plays like that versus the whole body of work, or is it all kind of tied in?
Yeah, good question. I mean, it's the whole body of work. It was an awesome play. You know, I'm happy for him. He works so hard. I mean, he really does. And it was an incredible play. And, you know, I think it was after we threw the pick, right? I think we threw the pick, and then he got the ball back for us. But, you know, it's going to be the entire camp. You know, it's not just going to be preseason. It's going to be every day at practice. And, again, we'll move our depth chart around some, you know, after this game and looking into next week, getting ready for Baltimore.
He was on the street 36 hours.
Bruce, boy, let me tell you, boy, I was crying with them kids playing football. I'm going to see if I can find it again, see if we can show them emulating see if we can see them emulating Joe Milton. Boy, I was crying, boy. We'll watch that again. We'll make sure we watch that again. Tommy Stryker, I can't accept it yet. He said, we need to accept this team will never succeed under the Jones family. I can't accept it. I think they're going to make some moves. I do. I think they're going to make some moves. I think they're going to bring in another. I just believe they're going to bring in another one tech. And the reason why I think they're going to do it because they don't have no choice. Jay Rowell, what's going on? He said from the Eagles fan, you guys have a good night. Hey, we're gonna see you. We're gonna see you September. What is it? September the 4th. We're gonna be ready. Think Orty 2012. He said Trey Lance is better than Milton. I can tell you this, Trey Lance looked pretty good. And I think it was Mixed Matrix that she asked a very good question. She was saying that why is it that Trey Lance here didn't look good? Trey Lance goes to the Chargers and he looks good. She also mentioned that Joe Milton, they said, looked good in New England, but then he came here and he didn't look the same tonight. And maybe it's the system. Maybe this system isn't made for quarterbacks like Lance and Joe Milton. Maybe the system isn't built for them. All right, let's get a couple more shot in. We almost through with his. We've been going about 2 hours on him, but good stuff.
Going, had a great second half. What can you say about it?
Can't say enough. I mean, kudos to Will and the scouting staff for finding him, and it's great to see him yesterday. I ran right over and gave him a big hug. His run skills are obviously incredible, and just speaks to the young man that he's been in shape, he's been waiting, he's had a couple tryouts with people, and they didn't sign him, and so we were able to get him back. But
talking about
we were
Malik
a little
Davis
worried going into the game with the depth that running back. We obviously didn't have to play Crop at running back, but yeah, give Malik his due. He had a hell of a day.
Malik Davis looked great.
TalkCowboys.com. What are you hoping that Joe kind of takes from this experience and maybe changes come?
Data everywhere, and not an insight to see. It's overwhelming. Customer usage stats, dashboard.
Next week.
I don't think that there's. I mean, we need to throw more completions. He knows that. I think he had his fastball out today, and there's times that you got to kind of throw a little bit of a change up. He wants the double move in the red zone back. I think that was Flo, I think, who ran it. That we missed that one right before the half, and then he kind of sailed one a little bit high. But it's all part of playing to Flo. He hit Flo, so I think it was Flo maybe on both of them. But part of staying in rhythm and part of me and Joe being on the same page, because I'm the play caller, is just executing the offense, taking things when it's not there, when you get moved off the spot, check it down. But what a great learning experience for Joe. I mean, guy hasn't played a ton of football in real situations like this where he's getting hit, and I'm not sure I loved him running the guy over on the sidelines, but I think that kind of woke him up a little bit, got him going, and I'm still learning him as well in terms of his play style.
CBS Sports, Brian, rookie Trayshawn Holden came in the game late, had a big play down the right sideline. Kind of what have you seen from him?
Every day. He shows up every day, Garrett. I mean, he really does. Every day he makes a play, and, we kind of saw that they were playing some cloud to that side, some cover two, and Joe made a beautiful throw into the whole shot. And, Trayshawn's done that every day in practice, literally every day. There's been one or two big plays, and when you do that, you get noticed. And when you do that, you get more opportunities. And I'm just proud of him. And, again, he's a guy that's you'll see him, moving up the depth chart.
Whoa.
A couple of questions. First, on the defensive side of the ball. First half, obviously, you guys had some struggles.
Shotty said Trayshawn Holden is going to move up the depth chart. Well, I tell you what, while they trying to move him up the depth chart, might all think about who was it? Was that Brooks? I mean, I think Brooks was out there cooking too.
But bright spot, Maris Leaf came out with his hair on fire. Can you just talk about where he is in this process going into year two?
Yeah, I think, he's been incredible this whole time, Patrick, in camp. And, again, just the physical nature that he plays with. And, again, another guy that you love the play style, man. And that's, he's a guy that he brings his pads. He carries his pads well. He's an excellent tackler. But I can't say enough good things about him. I mean, this guy just loves playing football. He loves what he does. He's a kind of a throwback almost as a linebacker. He really is. He's a throwback, just gritty. And I'm not surprised he played well. He's been working so hard to get to this point, and learned a lot last year, and playing with a lot of confidence right now.
On the offensive side of the ball, highly contested wide receiver battle as far as the bottom half of that depth chart. A name that's not getting mentioned a lot, but put a lot of good on film out there, Ryan Flanoy. Can you talk about what you saw from him, separation, route running, things of that nature?
Yeah, I thought, again, he was ripping across the field on the deep cross. I think he was the one that ran the double move in the red zone. It was him, yeah. I mean, he's learning to, change up some of his releases and things like that, which you love, but strong hands and really good with the ball in his hand. He's the guy who broke the tackle on the boundary, right? That was really cool to see. And, another one of those small school guys that you just, they kind of, their confidence, you see their confidence start to blossom when you get going. And the more they play, the more you're like, okay, I see it coming together for them. So the big thing for that battle that we talked about is going to be the special teams. And you got to have value on special teams when you're sitting in that spot, and that's why I can't wait to watch that film.
Hey, Coach, Mike here, Matthew, Culver City Observer. So you guys were able to get a scrimmage in there and practice in with the Rams, and then play today. With you being a first-time coach, what are some things that you can learn from, Sean McVay, someone who has been successful in this league?
Yeah, Sean's been great with me. Sean and I have a lot of respect for each other. We were in the same division for a while when I was in Seattle, and
Sean McVay is a master play caller. Shoot. I want to see what Brian does this year because I'm telling you, Sean McVay is a master play caller. I mean, you could just see the stuff he was running with the second team. Boy, they got what they pretty much did whatever they wanted with the Cowboys.
You know, just we both have family members that were elite and great at what they did in the football world, in the NFL. So I think that there's just a mutual respect there. But he and I spoke a ton about the practices leading up to the practices, and he gave me some great advice. And leaning on him in a lot of areas because here's a guy that he's a excellent head coach, but he's a play caller, and so just different things. Hey, how do you schedule your week, and when do you do this, and when do you do that? And he's been so open and very, very appreciative of him and how he's kind of opened his experience to share with me. It's much appreciated.
Anybody else? Good. Tom? Sorry, real quick. Just I know small sample size, but Will Greer coming in late there. What did you think of what he put out?
Just what Will's done. I mean, again, I didn't know he was that fast. I know when he broke through, I was like, okay, this will be a 2 or 3 yard gain. Next thing you know, the guy's running in the end zone. But the first couple plays he was in there, I could see him kind of still doing this thing, like oh shit, I'm not really ready. But he just knows how to play the game, and I'm really excited for him. That because again, the plan was he wasn't gonna probably play tonight, and that's the second time that's happened. Same thing with Joe, right? In the scrimmage, kind of happened, and Will had to go in there, and a guy that maximizes reps like that, you couldn't be happier for him.
I started Tai Chi at 50.
See, and this is the part that I don't like. The Cowboys did this same thing with Trey Lance, and it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that you're rewarding a guy with reps because he needs more reps, but the guy behind him is better, but you want this guy to be better than this guy, but he's not better than this guy. Make that make sense. I don't understand. That don't make sense to me. It didn't make sense with Trey Lance. I said it when Trey Lance came. I said, Trey Lance, everybody's talking about he's taking Dak Prescott position. I said, no, he's got to worry about beating out Cooper Rush. Why do you reward a guy who's not better than the guy? You're giving the guy every opportunity to be the second quarterback, even though he don't really deserve. That don't make sense to me. Bro, earn that position. Earn it. No, we're not going to let you play yourself out of it. You're going to play for it. People, oh yeah, Joe Milton's pushing Dak Prescott because he can throw the ball 65 yards and the media going crazy. Who cares? Who cares in the grand scheme of things? Who cares? No. How about turn it into a real competition between Will Greer and Joe Milton? We already know unless Dak gets injured, he's not coming off the field. Let those two battle it out. Why let him play for the number 2 spot rather than letting him earn the number 2? That makes no sense to me. Oh, Joe the future. If Joe can't beat Will Greer, he's not the future. If Joe can't beat Will Greer, he is not the future. Why do we have to give Will Greer? Why do we have to give Joe Milton a position? Why do we have to give it to him? No, this is crazy to me. It's not actually creating competition. It's not creating competition. Yeah, Justin Bradley, you're exactly right. They got about the same amount of experience in college. Of course, Trey Lance was a lot more successful. Man, you know what? Think or die, I'm just going to be honest with you. Deuce Vaughn is going to be successful somewhere else. I just don't think the Cowboys have a good enough plan for him, and I just don't think they have enough snaps, it seems, to go around for him. He's going to be good somewhere else. Yeah, mixed matrix. I just mentioned what you said. He looked better before he got here. Trey looks better now that he's gone. What does that mean? I think it may mean that the system here isn't made for those guys. Maybe if you had a system that was kind of custom for those type of quarterbacks, they would probably look a lot better. Shake and Bakes, Mozzie had more running backs through. Man said he had more running backs through him than a New York subway turnstile. Man, they need a one-take bad, bro. Rumbowski said, I heard him say in the postgame show that he was worried Gilmore couldn't run anymore for what's required at the cornerback position. Whew. Well, they better do something then. Gee, I saw that Dennis Greer did it. My dad watched the game with me, and I showed my father how the stanky leg is done, and he balled out laughing. Man, I didn't know what it was. I just didn't know what it was. I didn't. I had no clue. I was like, I didn't know he was doing that no more. Yeah, Trey Lance had some hurts in him. Milton, not so much. I think Trey Lance is a better runner. I do. Yeah, I think Trey Lance is a better runner. I really do. Yep, I really do. All right, let's see here. Let's see what Phil Milton had to say about himself. Very interested to hear what he had to say about himself. But I still think they talk him up too much. I mean, including Brian Schottenheimer. Sexy Sue, I hadn't seen her in a while, but Sexy Sue was saying this too. She was like, you know, Brian should not be talking up Joe Milton the way that he does, and he does it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I feel good. You know, just get a little treatment in the morning. I'll be all right.
You had grabbed your helmet and it looked like you wanted to go home.
Yeah.
You felt like a lot of concern when you came over to the sideline and you were holding your right elbow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I feel good. You know, just get a little treatment in the morning. I'll be all right.
You had grabbed your helmet and it looked like you wanted to go home.
Yeah.
You felt like if it weren't preseason or
for sure.
Out the drive.
Yeah, that's just the competitor nature that I have. Just finish out what I started.
Was it a hip that sparked it, or the pain in it, or what sparked the pain in it?
I think one of their players hit my elbow. It's probably one of my funny bone moments. I don't know, to be honest, but I'll be good.
You mean like the helmet?
Yeah, it was. Okay. Yeah, it was two of their players. I was in my throwing motion, so they called me as I was in my throwing motion. Yeah.
Looked like you settled in there after the first couple drives. How did you feel from really the second quarter on?
Second quarter on, I felt great. I think, you know, the guys around me did a great job as far as, like, just understanding the plays, understanding what we wanted, personnel-wise, scheme-wise, no matter what. I think I need to calm down faster so I can start rolling in the first quarter.
Yeah, just how excited, hyped were you for that first drive? You know, 3 straight pass plays.
Yeah. I was very excited. I think that's what got me off of my tracks. But I feel like, you know, if I was to go back out there again right now, I'll be able to, you know, settle down faster and make those throws for sure.
As you look kind of big picture, how do you feel about the game overall?
I feel like if I was grading myself, definitely a D, probably a D minus if I'm being hard on myself. I feel like I said before, the guys around me did a great job, especially from the O-line standpoint. They was blocking their butt off. And then
you know, that's the crazy part is you think about it. Boy, he had all the time in the world. I didn't really see a lot of pressure on him. He just didn't make the throws. I mean, he just didn't make the throws. And it wasn't just early on that even when he settled in, he just didn't make some throws. He just didn't make some throws. And so, and I think he tried to fit some in that he probably shouldn't have tried to fit in. But nevertheless, Joe needs some work. People need to leave Joe alone. Let Joe develop. And let's stop comparing him to all-time Super Bowl winning Hall of Fame quarterbacks and talking about we ain't seen no arm like this. Stop this stuff, man. Stop talking about like a kid like this. Just leave it for what it is. Let's just leave it for what it is. Yeah, Joe is working. Joe is working hard, and Joe's going to be good. Leave it at that.
Receivers and tight ends, you know, they was doing their assignments at a high level. I just got to settle down early and just make all those throws.
Is that why you give it a D?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Pretty much for the most part.
I know you're really competitive, so when you give yourself a D, I guess how
easy to move on from that and kind of come back, the next day and do well, or is it something that maybe sits with you a little bit and you kind of got to count on that?
For me, being a competitor, it's going to sit with me all night and probably in the morning. But once we pull that film up, flush it after that, and get ready for next week.
Was Dak kind of talking to you throughout different drives? The game was going on. What was he telling you?
Just be calm, take the completions. Once I took those 2 completions in the second quarter, and things started rolling. So just take completions and just let it all come to me.
See, this is exactly what I was explaining. And it's not rocket science. You got a young quarterback, don't have a lot of snaps. He's an athletic quarterback. So the way you settle him down immediately is you don't come out with 6 straight passing plays. You run the ball. How about you just give him a couple of runs? Just, hey, first and second down, we're going to run the ball. You get the 3rd and short. Just run the ball. Second drive. Okay, mix it up. Okay, we're going to throw him first down this time. We'll run on second down, and we'll get you a screen on 3rd down. We want to get you some completions. Man, I'm telling you, my first drive for Milton would have been so just orchestrated. And I don't have to give him any exotic plays. I would have just kept it very, very, very simple. I'm going to get you some screens. I'm going to get you some bootlegs. I'm going to get you maybe even a couple of read options. I'm going to get you, I'm not focused. I know you can throw it a mile. I want to set it up so you can get a shot. So let's take what they give us. They know you can throw the ball too. So let's just keep everything short, everything simple. Let's get the pocket moving even. Let's get the pocket moving. Let's do things that are conducive to just getting you completions, building your confidence up. And then as we go, we'll start going further down the field. But the way they opened up with Joe Milton didn't make sense to me. And I still think throughout the game, I still think that the plays they were giving him, I just don't think they were really what I would call plays that build confidence. To me, it was like they were trying to make him be more like Dak Prescott, if I could say that. They was trying to turn him more into, okay, progressions, check downs, make the throw. That's not Joe Milton yet. I think Joe Milton is a long way away from that, because that's not really what he is at this point. So you got to try to play to his strengths the best way you can. I think they'll do better the second game. I'm very interested in the second game, because I'm just telling you now, if he comes out in the second game, everybody's going to be like, I told you so. He going to the Super Bowl. So it'll be the same thing. Man, this dude Shake and Bake got me up in here rolling. Let me see if I can find this comment Shake and Bake just made. Let me go back. Shake and Bake got me laughing here. Look at what this dude, Mr. Shake and Bake, said. Mr. Shake and Bake said, our players may not win the Super Bowl. He said, but nobody in this league will be able to beat us at free throws and ping pong. He said, nobody made a business of free throws and ping pong. Boy. It's crazy to me. Ryan, 2091, he said, main issue I have is 0 pass rush when that's our bread and butter. What happened? Was it because it was the Rams? Man, I'm telling you, Ryan, these boys were a lot more, I think they were a little too physical for us for whatever reason. I just think they were too physical for us. Yeah, I'm telling you, I just think they were too physical for us, man. And I think it's a very good preseason game. I love to see this kind of stuff. I think I think it's only going to help us going forward. I'm looking forward to seeing what will the Cowboys do with the tape, because I thought they were going to use the scrimmage tape and then come back in this game. And while they were not going to just tear it up, I thought they were going to be a lot more physical. I really did. I thought they were going to be way more physical than what they were, but it looked similar to the scrimmage. And it's no excuse that it was the first team in the scrimmage, because this time it was the second team that was way more physical than our second team. Man, that doggone Rams team is good. Richard Vallega said in order to stop the run, might as well get the water. He said, might as well get the water boys in there. He said some Bobby Boucher. Big Rombowski said it will be interesting to see how many wide receivers they'll be holding. It is going to be interesting, especially with Pickens playing also. It says it will be holding on into the 53-man roster, and who will they keep beyond Lamb and Pickens? It is, and he said Trayshawn Holden is moving up the depth chart. Okay, we're going to see. Because I still think that, man, Brooks, if I'm not mistaken, that was Brooks that was cooking tonight. Brooks made a couple of great catches too. Yeah, he made a couple of great catches. So I'm very interested to see like who are they going to keep, because they got some good wide receivers. They really do. Whoa, the Jaguars kicked a 70-yard field goal in the preseason? Bananas. Bananas. Wow, bananas. Let me see here. Dominique said, gee, that's not shot. He's called Jerry because he's trying to sell Milton being the future quarterback of the team. At least that's what I think. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. It don't make sense at all to me. It don't make sense. Let me see here. Brandy said, who is really passing deep all the time? Brandy, nobody. Nobody at all. That's the part that's crazy to me. Nobody. Nobody at all. That's why for me, I wouldn't be as concerned with a big arm quarterback. I'm not concerned about a big arm quarterback. I'm concerned about a quarterback that can play quarterback. Can you learn fast? Can you execute these plays? Can you make the throws? Okay, we know you can throw at 80, but can you complete an 8-yard pass? We know you can throw a 65, but can you hit Flanoy on that crossing route where he was literally wide open? I don't care about the big arm, and that's all. That's why I'm laughing, because every time somebody says he's talented, what do you mean he's talented? Oh, you're talking about a specific talent. Okay, he can throw the ball far. Who cares? And I'm telling you, man, Brian has just got to stop talking about him so much. Go Dodgers. Okay, I'm sorry. Go Dodgers said, hey, G, this is Mike McCain. Oh, okay, I see you, Mike McCain. He said Dak Prescott in 4 preseason games did not throw one single interception. Boy, yeah. Woo. But I did a video on it. Dak Prescott's first preseason game was crazy. 10 for 12, 139 yards, 2 TDs, and quarterback rating 154. Yeah, boy, Dak was crazy in the preseasons, man. Dak basically took the job in the preseason. Dak put everybody on notice, man. Yeah, Mr. Shake and Bake. I think Deuce Vaughn's going to be successful somewhere else. They just don't. I just don't think they have a plan for him. We'll see. But he looked pretty good tonight when he got a hold of the ball. They just didn't keep using him. Sean Ginsberg said, look, he said, like they're hiding hold and hope he makes the team. Yeah. Oh, did I say Phil Milton? Oh, sorry about that. Joe Milton. Yeah, it's late. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, let's hear some more Phil Milton. I mean, Joe Milton. Gotcha.
You mentioned a lot. Can you speak a little more, because there are a lot of moving parts and even more injuries tonight
Yep.
and stuff, and it just kind of a revolving door. A lot of moving parts and even more injuries tonight
Yep.
and stuff, and it just kind of a revolving door up there.
You want
Does
it?
it come through?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the O-line is the whole O-line itself that played tonight. They did a great job.
He had all the time in the world
Brock,
to throw.
From TJ Bass, from Sadiq, just all of them.
Yeah, they really
awesome.
protected him
It's
really
just
well.
The way that they communicated, their communication level was at a high level. The way that they operated was at a high level. They understood everything that we wanted to do in this game, and they was prepared. We all were prepared, but I feel like they was the most prepared.
The best takeaway. What was your best takeaway?
Best takeaway? Just flushing some of the drives I had and being able to come back and just be myself. I feel like the most important part was when I came back to the sideline, the guys that kept me up, that really knows me from the off-season training that we did, the off-season bonding, just who they really know me, so they kept me up. and no matter what it was, they just really just kept cheering me on for sure.
Shotty's talked about the vanilla offense they want to have in the preseason because you want to hold some things before you go in the regular season. For a quarterback in a vanilla offense, a little bit limited, how difficult is that, or how does that change the way that you guys attack things?
I wouldn't say it's difficult. I feel like it's more simplified. It allows you to execute at a high level.
I was about to say, the
obviously
execution.
I didn't start off at a high level, but, as the game.
See, that's the issue, and that's what I was talking about. Just because you're saying you're going simple, then that means there's some specific things that we're looking for. Execution, discipline. I mean, we're looking for physicality. We're looking for intensity. We're looking for energy. If I'm running vanilla, I really am saying, okay, I want to see what the players are about. And, to be honest, I think one of the things that got them was they got out physical. Man, the Rams did the same thing in that doggone scrimmage. I mean, somebody forgot to tell them boys were playing. And they came out today and they played. I like this, Randy. I like what Randy McIntyre said. This is a joke. He said you can't make touch passes right now. If you can't do that, you can't quarterback in this league. Randy, that's to me. I mean, throwing the ball far has nothing to do with it, man. You just got to obey the quarterback. Sean Ginsberg, he says you could tell Milton has a bad arm by the overthrow stuff. Just you just got a big arm. I don't know. This whole big arm thing gets me. I'm not. That is not what I'm looking for in the quarterback. It's just not what I'm looking for. Because I know it's far and in between. I'm throwing the ball 85 yards down the field. I just don't care about that stuff. Sean Ginsberg, be careful. Milton is 26 years old, man. Shoot. Man, Milton ain't no spring chicken. Trey Lance is younger than Milton. Shoot. Trey Lance ain't young, man. I mean, he's young if you're a starter. He ain't young if you're not a starter. I mean, by the time he start, might be 28, 29, 30. Shoot, man, you started 30 years old, man. I hope you get on a very good team. Because, man, this league, man, it'll throw you away after one failed doggone season and you're 30 and over. I agree with you, Shake and Bake. He needs a 2-year mentorship at the quarterback position. I agree with you. I think he needs a 2-year mentorship, minimum. Seems to be a very good kid, though. He seems to be pretty honest with himself, minimum. So, yeah, I agree with you.
Progress, things started to pick up, plays started to happen, but I feel like when you simplify the offense and the game plan, especially in the preseason game, it helped guys get open, helped guys get in the right position at a fast pace.
He's not here. How's your elbow? What happened there?
Just 2 players collided into my elbow. I'm pretty fine. Probably just a contusion or a bone bruise. I'll be good.
You were concentrating on the throw on the near sideline, but did you see CD get hit?
Nah, I did not.
Have you heard about it?
I heard about it, yeah. But I seen him walking, so I think he's pretty fine.
It'll be his hardest hit of the year.
Yeah, probably. Absolutely.
Yeah.
When your kid is hurting and there's nothing.
Milton's a good kid, though. I think at the end of the day, Milton is a good kid. And so, just gotta, I just think it's one of those things where Milton is just needs more work. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He just needs more work. And I'm just confused because the Cowboys, they did this same thing last year with Trey Lance. It's like you're not letting them compete for the job. You're letting them play themselves out of the job, or you let them play themselves into the job. I don't know which one it is, but it's all crazy to me. It's all crazy to me. I just think you should be letting him and Will Grier. I just think you should be letting them compete. I think that would help him even more. But again, it just seems to me it's already been said that he is going to be the Whoa. Check this out. Hold on, I'm over here on X. We're going to skip down to, matter of fact, we're going to skip down. It's 2:43. I want to get out of here in about 17 minutes. I'm over here on X. I want to see if I can find this thing again that we were laughing at today. I want to see if we can find this thing we were laughing at today about the dude, about these kids out there. They was emulating Joe Milton. Let me see here. So Dak Prescott is out here with Jerry Jones and the owner of the Rams. And Dak Prescott told, let me see if they got the audio on this. Dak Prescott told the owner of the Rams that they were going to meet him in the championship game.
Program. And if you didn't notice, he's an amputee without a...
Okay, hold on a second. This is crazy work. This man Dak Prescott said put some respect on his name. Check this out, man. This is crazy. Check this man Dak Prescott out. Whoa. Whoa. Dak Prescott told this man we'll meet y'all in the NFC Championship game. Boy, I hope it's true. I hope it is true. Shoot, the Rams look crazy though. The Rams really have taken care of their trenches. They look good, man. They really do. They look good. Yeah, they look good. Let me see here. Boy, let me see if I can find this, man. Boy, this was so funny to me today with these kids, boy. Let me see if we can find it. Yeah, Jay Tuck posted this today about Joe Milton, but these little kids was clowning old Joe Milton. See if we can find it. Hold on. Yeah, here it is right here. I don't know if y'all saw this, but Jay Tuck posted this, man. I was rolling so hard when I saw this. Check this out. So these little kids out here, they doing a skit pretending that one of his Joe Milton. I don't know if y'all saw this today. Brady Mahoney, you still on? Did you see this today when I was showing this? Man, this is so funny. Check out these little kids.
What the damn? Why you throwing it so hard for? Then what you mean? I'm just right here. You didn't have to throw it that hard. Hit. What the fuck?
He look
like that. There's nobody even on me.
Why'd he look at?
What the hell? Why you throwing it so hard for? Then what you mean? I'm just right here. You didn't have to throw it that hard.
Boy, I'm sorry. Joe Milton see that. He got to laugh his own self. What them little kids? What them little kids, boy? Boy, them little kids had me rolling, boy. Them little kids is crazy, man. Yeah, a lot of chatter. A lot of chatter out there talking about Joe Milton. Boy, I'm telling you, I was crying when I saw that right there, though. Whoo, boy, I was crying when I saw that right there. Again, looking over here on X, a lot of people are talking about the Cowboys' loss. And again, Cowboys, don't get me wrong when I'm analyzing the Cowboys on this first reaction. It's the Cowboys' offense is going to be fine. I'm not worried about the offense. I'm not even worried about Joe Milton for the most part. I want Joe Milton to continue to develop because if everything goes right, the only time we're going to see Joe Milton is when we're up 40-15 or 30-7 in the mid third quarter. It's going to be the only time we're going to see him. And so I'll be good with that. I'll be absolutely good with that. And so at this point, man, Joe just got to keep working on Just keep working on his craft. Just keep growing, and we'll see. Hey, just like Trey Lance, I want Trey Lance to get his chance. I'm hoping that Trey Lance eventually gets with a team, and somebody say, "Hey, man, we're going to." Bro, look at this right here. Man, we're gonna have a segment. We got to create a segment called I've already been contemplating. We're gonna do a segment called "What's Going on X." Look at this right here, man. Look at the caption on this on X. It says Joe Milton might be better than Drake May. People crazy. These people crazy. Boy, these people need to stop, man. Give my man a break, man. He just needs work, is the bottom line. He just needs work. Ernie, the Cowboys fan, he posted this on X. Check this out. Dak Prescott's not even playing tonight. Check him out. He didn't even play tonight, but this is the kind of quarterback Dak Prescott is. Dak Prescott leading the pack. Check him out. I see you. Yeah, you gotta love Dak Prescott, man. I don't think anybody's cheering harder for Joe Milton than him. I mean, Dak's really trying to help him out. He did the same thing with Trey Lance. It's crazy to me when you're trying. It's crazy to me you're trying to help somebody and everybody's saying he gonna take your job. It's crazy. Man, let me tell you. Hey, hold on a second. Angry Cowboys fans said before the game, and this is one of the things I was talking about. Angry Cowboys fans said, so if Joe Milton has a Shedeur Sanders debut, is that acceptable for the nation to build off? Man, let me tell you something. If he'd have had that, and I told you, to me, the pressure was on. Because when you think about Jackson Dart, rookie, Shedeur Sanders, 5th round, rookie, you think about J.J. McCarthy, missed the whole season. Man, those guys had great days. So to me, I was just kind of like, because, Joe Milton actually said something. If you think about what he said, it makes sense. Because if you're going to make the plays more vanilla, a lot of people don't understand why this is a little bit alarming. Because if you make the plays more vanilla, shouldn't they be easier to execute? Yeah. Yeah, that's why the plays are vanilla. One, you're not trying to tip your hand to the league. But two, it should make the execution more simple. Should make the execution better. So that's the double-edged sword of quote-unquote simplicity. And then you get other people and they just, you get other people and they're looking for anything he does. And they're like, Joe Milton is this, this, and this. Man, just calm down. Joe needs work. Joe needs work. Joe needs work. Joe needs work. He gonna get work. But I'll tell you what I'm going to be looking at. And I gave my takeaways. Let me show you what my takeaways were on X today before we get out of here. Let me see. Let me show you what my takeaways were. Y'all can follow me on X if you haven't already. Forgive me, I haven't really been focusing on X, man. X is a different universe, man. You have to get used to it. People over there, X is the equivalent of, boy. Them boys is rough over there. But I digress. These were my takeaways today. Milton needs a lot of work. The Cowboys need a one tech bad. The Cowboys need Stephon Gilmore bad. Too many penalties. Poor tackling. Maurice Leafau is ready to be a playmaker. Will Grier. Phil Maffa will be a beast. Will Grier should get more snaps. And let me see what I said about the score. Oh, yeah, the score didn't concern me, but the lack of energy, physicality, discipline, and execution did. Those are the things that bother me, because if you're saying that these are supposed to be vanilla plays, simple plays, well, why didn't we execute? It's just mano a mano at this point. Man, I'm gonna tell you, talking about wide receivers, let me tell you something. Quarterbacks, boy, I'm telling you, Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, I think are gonna be crazy this year. I think Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, all three gonna be crazy. He said, I feel like smoking cigars. It's all good, man. It's just the first preseason game. This is just the first reaction. We're going to go home. We're going to sleep on it tonight. We'll sleep on it tonight, and then we'll talk about it some more on Monday, and I think everything's going to be all right. Now, I'm excited about the second game now. I'm very excited. I want to see how Brian Schottenheimer and his coaching staff respond. How do they prepare the team to be ready for another formidable opponent in the Baltimore Ravens? I would not be surprised if Lamar Jackson plays. If Lamar Jackson plays this game, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, I wouldn't be surprised if they play their entire starting lineup the first quarter. So I want to see how Brian bounces back. I want to see how Joe Milton bounces back. I want to see if Brian Schottenheimer this time comes out and says, okay, let me give you the Joe Milton game plan rather than the Dak Prescott game plan. Let's put in a few more things that gets you on the move. Make some of your reads a little bit more simple. Get you on the run. Let's get you some bootlegs. Let's get you some screens. Let's get you some short passes. Let's work on that part of your game. And then we'll soften that defense up, make them suck in just a little bit. And then we'll see if we can get you a guy one-on-one down there rather than you having to throw into double coverage. Daniel says, man, it's going to be weird seeing Cooper Rush next week. Not me. True, it ain't going to be weird for me. Shoot, might need to put the Cooper Rush fanboys in timeout so they go bonkers on us. Man, Cooper Rush ain't going bonkers on nobody. Man, he ain't going bonkers on nobody. Go Dodgers, he said if Joe Milton plays in game 2 like he played in the first game, he's not to make the team. Will Greer's going to make a team. I think the Joneses are going to keep Joe Milton because they got him for 3 years at $1 million. They're going to keep him. And I think they're going to keep trying to develop him and see what happens around that time. Shoot, you ain't lying, Bruce. Except the Rams have a crew of big old cornfeds on the O-line. Yeah. How we about them? They should have drafted Shador. Let me tell you something. How about him? If Jerry would have knew that Shador Sanders was going to be there in the 5th round, he would have been on the Cowboys draft board. I believe he would have been on the draft board. But the one thing the Cowboys didn't do is they didn't go away from the draft board. So they stuck with it. But again, let me tell you something. It's you got to be careful bringing in Shador Sanders. Because if people are nuts about Joe Milton and Trey Lance, man, people would lose their mind if we got Deion Sanders' son in here. They would. It'd be crazy up in here. It would. It'd been crazy. Brandon Cup said the point about Shador is that we gave the same draft pick that took Shador. If you take chances, that's a good one to take. Yeah. Only problem with Shador Sanders, you can't leave him on the bench. Shador Sanders has the Cleveland Browns in a chokehold. He came out there in the first game. He's earned some he's earned some first team reps. They're not gonna have no choice. He's got him in a chokehold. If this dude ain't starting by game 5 or 6, Cleveland Browns Stadium is gonna be empty. How about them? He said, what else was Dak supposed to say? How about them? Why does he have to say they're gonna see him in the NFC Championship game? Why does he supposed to say that? I mean, How about them? Why was he supposed to say it, bro? He didn't have to say it. It don't make sense to me. Why would he have to say it? Man, let me tell you something. I'm not ruling out Christian Wilkinson, y'all. I'm not ruling out Christian Wilkinson. I'm just not. I'm not ruling him out. Cowboys look at that tape today, man. They might say, hey, man. Hey. So, anyway, man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me tonight. It is about to be 3 o'clock straight up. Brandon Cup, Maurice looked very good. Very good. He was playing with a different, he was out there playing with a different speed. He was. The big Rumbowski said it took Milton 6 years before he was a QB1 in college. Facts. And that was after transferring at the end of the 3rd year. New England was quick to look at trade offers at the start of off season. Maybe he's not that good. Big Rumbowski, you've already heard me make that argument. There is no way that they're I don't care what anyone says. So you're telling me because he was challenging the starter, that's what you want? The Commanders, when they had Robert Griffin III and I forgot his name, it's late. But when they had both of them, they kept him. Why would you not? You want those problems, especially when you got the guy that's cheaper playing better than the guy who's going to cost you the money. You get down the road, you can let the guy with the money, you can trade him, let him go. Daniel Lim said he going to put the call in. He going to make sure we get Wilkins and Gilmore. Whoa. Robert says he'll be surprised if Dak plays 12 games. No, Dak playing all 17. All right, guys. Dominic Pittman, he said have a good night. I agree. Y'all have a good night. Bruce, appreciate you. Boy, you had me rolling tonight. Appreciate y'all for the super chats. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all have a good night. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys. We talk facts. Peace.